You're such an asshole.
Good morning, children. Boomer Cappy, lonely on the bottom left corner. You should all be amazed I figured this out. I think it's going to work. You know how I have difficulty sharing screens. So we have a request. And let me make sure. I don't know. Can you guys see that? I don't know. We'll just leave it. All right. So here's the request. I'll read it. And we're going to do a video response. I hate doing video responses because of this reason. But also there's always that risk of copyright bullshit. And so I'm going to recommend you all go down to Freddie Smith's channel. There's that young man there. I'll be constructively picking apart his analysis. But that's not to say his channel. I actually looked at the channel. He's a younger guy, millennial finance, investing, real estate type guy. It's not going to hurt you to go and subscribe to his channel if you don't like my old gray haired ass. And then if he wants me to take this down, I will. It's childish middle school, school marm YouTube. So Paul writes, hello, Aaron. Would you be able to make a video response in this YouTube video? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on what are you saying. The creator is claiming 100,000 years now, the new middle class. Here's the video link. The title is 100,000 salaries, the new middle class. Millennial shares his monthly bills. I believe what he's saying is BS. I watched your video about only needing 26,000 to live in the U.S. That's a relatively recent video that I did where I updated the adjusted for inflation from the book. I believe it was Poor Richard's Retirement, where back whenever I wrote that book, it was about $17,000 for the average person to just to get by, not middle class, just to get by. And I updated it, and I guess it's 26,000. That sounds about right. But still, obviously not $100,000. But let's qualify two things. You believe what he's saying is BS. That 17,000 now more monthly 26,000 is a minimalist, not a middle income. And the middle income American, for the most part, globally speaking, is spoiled. One of the main premises of my book, Poor Richard's Retirement, was that if you look at a 1950s budget, which I did, you were lucky to have a car. There was one car, didn't last anywhere near as long. Clothing took up an inordinate amount of the expenses. I think it was around 17 grand adjusted for inflation. You get a family of 4 on that. You'd have to double check my numbers. But middle class in the United States, what did they train you to think in middle school? There's some truth to this statement, which I just about to make up. It's not a statement I've ever heard before. Middle class is defined in middle school. Oh, you got your fancy clothes. Oh, you got your fancy thing. Well, it's sure like a sports car. Tee-hee, I'm going to get a master's degree and go major in journalism, magically find a job that pays a lot. So that's the one reason his number is not going to be the same as mine, but he's still intellectually honest. Yes, to be middle class, you're not going to $26,000 per person middle class. That's not, no, you're minimalist. You're technically poor. You just don't need the stuff. And the other thing is when he was doing the numbers, he is talking about both him and his wife salaries combined. And that puts it much more in the realm of reality. If you're quoting my 26,000, that's on a per capita basis. He's doing household. Him and his wife, I believe they're dinks. They have no kids. And so if you take 100,000 divided by 2, that's 50,000. That actually is very much middle class. It kind of, now there's going to be some things I'm going to pick apart in his budget. But when he lists his budget, first ask yourself, is this reasonable middle class? American middle class? I almost say he's on the low end because most Americans, they're dumb money spending pigs. Like, oh, we got to get our boat. Oh, we got to get our trip to Europe. Oh, well, but what was it? The article about, what percent? Half? I don't know. Some significant percent of trips to Disneyland have been put on credit cards. And so just right off the bat, you do some top-down figures and analysis, 100,000 for 2 people, 50,000. Yeah, that's kind of middle class. And the things he's listing here, I wouldn't spend money on them, but it's middle class. I believe the median individual income is around $43 or $46,000. I may even have to update that because inflation really does. In the olden days, you could assume if your data was 3 years old, it's relatively the same now. Oh, it's been 3 years, inflation of, 20, 25%, because we all got to believe printing off more money will save us. Uh, but their their income, $50,000 a year, higher than the median individual income, cumulatively higher than the median household income, but still very much within the realm of middle class America. Uh, Under the full understanding what middle class Americans expect, right? And yes, I would. So just kind of keep that in mind. He is not saying minimalism. I am. He's saying middle class. So yeah, 100,000. Yeah, I'd say more around 75, 80 would be your true dead even middle class, and with a little bit more debt spending. Then and I don't think he has credit cards, he mentioned. So he is paying cash for all this as they go along. But yeah, I think he is, certainly within one standard deviation of middle class. All right, now, the hard part. How the hell do I play this? So he did it, I think, on TikTok. So it just plays on a loop. There's no way you can move to the end. It just plays. So I paused it at the end of one loop. So in theory, he should lead in with, I'm no economist, but I am. So maybe the audio works. Hopefully this works. So let's go ahead and listen to it, and I'll pause as we go along.
The middle class, like we're watching the middle class just be pushed right out. You don't have to be an economist to know that the middle class salary is now $100,000.
Okay. It really isn't, but okay, ballpark. I'll grant him that. He is.
In 2019, $40,000 to $50,000 would buy you a middle class life. In 2024, it's $100,000.
Whoa, wait. Okay, now 2019, 40 to 50,000. That would get you. No, that's wrong. There hasn't been that much inflation. That much is wrong. Because I have to go with what he's saying. A family household income of $40,000 to $50,000 would get you the middle class. No, hang on. Let me look up what median household income is. Yes. Oh man, look at me. Look at me. Oh my God, what a man, am I good? I'm good, man. $74,580. Did I say 75 grand? Median household income? God damn, man. Woo! I'm like Scotch. I just get better with age. Why is he so excited? He guessed within $500 the median household income of the U.S. and no girls gave him her number that day. Yeah. So, and yeah, there's been some inflation since. Well, that's 2022. It was not 40. You could not get by. You were not living middle class with a household income of $45,000 in 2019. That was not it. So that's wrong. But he's not an economist, so he admitted that up front.
Even if you look at my life, my wife and I bought a $400,000 home.
All right, let's stop right here. Housing is the most expensive thing. $400,000 home. I looked up what the average now, $400,000, $3,200. So he financed at a higher interest rate than the 2Z, 3Z percents all of 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So yes, that has definitely taken a chunk. It has definitely pushed a percentage of the population out of the middle class. Yeah, housing is unaffordable. I want to know what his degree is and what his wife's degree is. If he's a tradesman and she's a tradeswoman, cool. I don't know how many times. Now, I'm not to pick on him, just because his concern is for his generation and going on into the future, legitimately so. How long have I been saying, y'all got to stop going to college? Y'all got to stop majoring in dumb shit. I mean, how old was this guy when I wrote Worthless? Worthless came out 2011. It was 13 years ago. This guy was probably a teenager. He looks about 30. All right. Anyone follow that advice? No, everyone majored in Save the World studies. So for those of you tuning into Freddie's channel, God, how do we get housing is the biggest expense, whether it's rent or you, that is your biggest expense. You want to, the one thing you can do to dramatically increase people's standards of living is to increase the supply of housing. So stop telling everyone in school, like, you're going to go to college and save the world. No, shut the fuck up and learn how to weld, learn how to wire a house. And even I'm hypocritical there, though I did just finish a week long of pouring some concrete foundations to resupport a deck. So, you know, not totally a hypocrite. But yeah, going forward for younger people, he has every right to complain. I'm trying to give you the solutions. You have to train yourselves right now and future generations of children to go into the trades and actually build the shit we need. Not to be, frankly, what the past almost 3 generations of college educated idiots have been, is to bitch and whine and complain about capitalism. That's really all, right? At the end of the day, it's just those evil rich people and the banks and the government. Not to say you're not wrong, not to say that those institutions haven't fucked us, but it's like, okay, and what are you going to do with your political science degree? I'm going to sign a petition on petition.org. All right. So, let's get back to this. Him and his wife, they look young. I looked at he said median house, $400,000. The average house in America has got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, shy of 2 baths, 1.5 baths. Way too much house for dinks. Way too much house. Should be looking for a smaller home, a townhome, maybe even a condo. It's still in the domain of housing, but buying more housing than you need, that's a big financial mistake. Now, if you got a good deal and a good price, I understand in some areas the housing market is wonky, where your starter homes, there's just not a lot of starter homes because we keep getting college graduates and not enough tradesmen. Karen's in the HOA and smart growth and all these do-good policies make it real hard to build affordable housing. There's like these little rink-a-dink homes that, they're great, especially in Rapid City. Got all these like little homes, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's perfect. But probably bit off more house than you could chew. Here's the other thing, especially at that young age, you're not supposed to be middle income. They should be pushing, and they're doing actually quite well. But middle income, it's more like, you're middle age. You're 40. This guy ain't 40, he's like 30. Yeah, when you're younger, you're going to be poorer. That's how it goes. You haven't built up the work experience and the income yet and all that other stuff. He bet now they could play it right if they made it their forever home and never moved again and didn't pay a realtor fee and commission and they just sat there and they didn't have to, and they pay it off. Yeah, that could be fine. But a $400,000 home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, I'm assuming. That's not my first home wasn't a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. Mine was a duplex that I turned into a triplex and lived in the basement. Of course, I was 24 at the time. And I bought it for $30,000. No, I was kidding. It was like 164. With money on my paper route. So that is overstating it there. That's a little high.
Which is the average home in America. We drive 2 Volkswagens, not BMWs. The payment total is $850.
Wait, what? Stop. Hold on. Wait a sec. Payment? Did you say payment? Now, in his defense again, average middle income, middle class American family, yes, they have car payments. I don't. I think, again, it's poor rich's retirement. If not, it is in bachelor pad economics. I show you how not having a car payment allows you to save up 3/4 of a retirement. Right? Again, I'm talking minimalism. He's talking middle income. I would argue, economically speaking, middle income is too high standards of living for your average American. I think they have a value system that's wrong. You need transportation. You don't need Volkswagens are nicer cars than average, I would say. $850 a month payment. Did he throw that up there? Yeah, $850 a month. You know what my car payments are? 0, because I paid cash for all my cars. Yes. Did Cappy have to learn to kind of become a mechanic? Yes. Did Cappy have to buy salvage cars from the salvage yard with a salvage title? Yes. Did Cappy get a hell of a deal sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. Here, it's in Bachelor Pad Economics. I have an entire chapter dedicated to cars, and this is for you boys. Girls piss away their money on college degrees that are stupider than shit. Man, you guys piss away your money on cars that are stupider than shit, right? And so when I get guys, oh, how do I say, take a look, what's the thing going on? Oh, I got a car payment. You're 19. Why do you have a car payment? Oh, I got a good, no. Why do you have a car payment? And I go in detail, an entire chapter on how to find affordable cars. And just to make you guys disgusted with me more than you already are, I paid $4,000 for a Kia Rio. This is probably about 10 years ago. God, I put about 150,000 miles on it. It was used. Kia Rio ran into the ground. I still have my old truck to pay $4,000 for 12 years ago. Has 190,000 miles, and I had to do a fair amount of repairs to it and all that over the years, but it still runs. Transmission's a little sticky. The first car I bought that had an electric boopity button, I got that 4 years ago. Salvage car, and it actually had electric locks. First one ever. Everything else was manual. It was the second car. No. That was the first car that had air conditioning. Then the other car, we got to replace the Kia Rio when it went kaput. That one got air. I didn't have air conditioning. I just recently got a car that had cruise control last year. No, it was still this year. I'm sorry, it was this spring. You don't need these new fancy cars. But if you want to be middle income, if it's still, a middle school mentality to get the middle class America that I got to show up at work with a nice car, otherwise, what will the neighbors think? Yes, you are $850. That's about right. It might even be a little bit on the low end because 2 car payments, $425. Yeah, they're not blowing these aren't Ferraris or nothing. But once again, it shows the difference between a minimalist budget and a middle income budget. And I'd ask let's discuss, because this would be the crux of the matter. Does Freddie here have a better standard of living than I do? Because he has a nicer car, I guess probably, a nicer house, or at least a bigger house. He has a handful of luxuries I don't afford myself. Does he have a higher standard of living? Economists would argue, yes, he has a nicer cars, nicer. I would argue no, because I don't worry about it. Look, you can see he's kind of like, oh my God, not only because he's concerned for himself, he's also concerned for his generation and other people. And that's where I would be going back. And one of these days, I'll come out with my new book called An Economy of One. I'm going to go over the value system that is purposely programmed and installed in you, starting when you're a little kid. Your value system to have a middle class lifestyle is formed in middle school. You need a car, bro. You need a house in the suburbs, bro. I'm like, no, I want freedom. But again, that's a choice. Like, fine, I got a crappy car. That doesn't mean I don't get the same amount of sleep, or if anything, I probably get more exercise, more free time, less stress. I would argue that, in other words, the focus is on economic metrics, which, being an economist, I appreciate. But that doesn't, I think you get past a certain point in income per capita or GDP per capita or median household income, it doesn't matter, especially if you're spending it on frivolous things. There's other measures that would call that I would say more accurately reflect or measure a high standard of living. How many hours sleep do you get a night? How much downtime you get? Do you have enough free time to exercise regularly every day? What's your cortisol levels due to? This would be impossible to measure, but to make my point again, What are your cortisol or stress levels due to financial problems or financial stress? And you'll find out that, especially with the car and the nice, the two big things. Now, the three big things we throw in your education. These guys paid off their student loans, respectively so. But school, lodging, and cars, those are your three biggest expenses in life. And 2 out of 3, it looks like they're spending more than they have to. But again, that is to achieve the middle income. So he's not wrong.
dollars. We do spend $1,000 a month on groceries.
$1,000 a month on groceries. Now, I will admit, the one luxury I afford myself is I eat out. If the GF isn't home cooking, I go out, and that seems expensive. Hang on, let me do some quick math here. Is that no? That's not. Okay, 1,000. Well, there's 2 of them, so that's $500. 500 divided by 30. $16 a day. You can eat cheaper. I think, yeah, you could eat cheaper. $16 a day, you could eat cheaper. And I mean, it's not egregious. Very, okay. Very much middle income. Very much middle class. Yeah, $16, $17 a day. Absolutely. I can see that. Yep. So he's not wrong there.
We eat healthy, whole foods. We make our coffee at home. We don't do stuff.
All right, Whole Foods, that's going to add it. Not the brand, not the grocery store Whole Foods, which is whole paycheck. They're a little on the high end. They could come down a little bit, but again, well within one standard deviation of middle income.
Starbucks. We have a 401k, health insurance, car insurance, gas.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. See, I can't reverse. I can't rewind. Car insurance? $350 a month? So you got to add that to the $800 or $850, what it is, the car payment. This is, God damn it, I got here, right here. Bachelor Pad Economics is linked below. What chapter? I think it's 10. Because I had to reference it all the time. 10, no, 9, cars and transportation. Do you know what I pay for? By the way, I have multiple vehicles. I got a motorcycle here and my truck here. Down south, I got a car and a motorcycle as well. Okay, I got 4 vehicles. I don't think my insurance is more than $100 a month. It might even be less than that. I'd have to take a look. And the reason why is that I don't have any cars that are worth insuring. I don't have nice cars. They get dinged, they get scratched, they get wrecked. I don't care about them. I don't care what people at the office think about me when I pull in. And again, I don't pull into an office. I'm self-employed. But no one at the poker game gives a shit I drive a crappy truck. They don't care. That right there, that insurance is what gets you too. So now you got a car payment. You have nice cars. I bet the bank or the financing company required full collision insurance on that. So now you got to pay $350 a month as opposed to 2 vehicles. If they're shit vehicles, $100. Again, middle income. He's not wrong. Square on the nose. That's even a little bit low, I'd imagine, because they have probably sensible cars. But yeah, you start throwing in Bipsy and Thaddeus, who have to have the Range Rovers and their leased Yukons, which, oh, did I see that in banking all the time? Oh yeah, the insurance is like $1,000 a month. Especially if Bipsy kept running it into things because laws of physics don't apply to me. I'm a trophy wife. But yeah, there's the insurance. Gas $200. I think that might even be a little low. Depends on your commute.
Cell phone. My wife.
Cell phone. $200 for a cell phone? Really? I'm like 75. Like a family plan? Seems a little pricey. Okay, there's worse.
Does get her hair and nails done once.
Hair and nails? Okay, yeah, Cappy, you don't get your hair and nails done. The GF does. Can they do it at home? Yes. Is that perfectly reasonable within middle class America? Yes. It's perfectly reasonable.
Once a month, we go to date night every single Friday, but
okay, $100. Yes, that is a date. Not irrational. $400 a month. When I saw that pop up, I'm like, you're spending $400 a night on that date. He's doing 4 weeks in a month. $100. Yeah, they're young, the double income, no kids. Perfectly reasonable, perfectly fine. I mean, hell, a lot of you guys dropped that on booze in one night or sports ball, bro, game. Ha ha. Watch guy hit sphere with stick. $8 hot dog, $12 beer. Why no money? Porque no dinero?
At like a local tavern or even Chili's for $100, and our bills, monthly bills, are $7,000 a month. And
That's about right. Yeah. But see, and here where it might be misleading is the title. Is 100K the new middle class? Because everyone thinks that's their income. No, it should really be, is 50K the new middle class? Because I don't know if you knew, I didn't know young people got married anymore. This is the first time I've ever heard of somebody under 40 getting married. No, I kid. I think that's maybe the clickbait title is $100,000. You think individually because 6 figs, bro. Yeah, so far he's right. He is right. Uh, Pretty, maybe a little bit on the high end for middle income, way above what I would spend, way above minimalism. But he's not irrational for a household median income, and this kind of corroborates with what I pointed out with 75,000. That was 2022. Let's up it. Let's call it 80,000. They're 20,000 on the high end of middle income. Very well within middle income. A couple things I would tweak and adjust. But yeah, the misleading aspect is 100K. That reminds me of like what is it? Average house in America, $500,000. They had somebody like kids cost $250,000. Kids don't cost $250,000 to raise. Not if you do it right. Like, yeah, if you're a modern day boomer and later parent, Gen X, modern day, if you're a modern day American parent, we just throw money at your kid and like, oh, it must be a mental dis. So you don't like raise your kid or spend time with. Yeah, it could cost 250,000. You're dumb enough to pay for your kid's, degree in travel and hospitality or criminal justice. Sure, yeah, that ain't cost $250,000. But that's kind of the shock. Oh my gosh, it costs this much money. Oh, the kids cost $250,000. No, it should really read is 50,000 the new middle class, and yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's very much within, Bureau of Economic Analysis lines. Let's finish off the video here.
we have no credit cards, no student loans, and we don't have children.
All right, so that right there, the fact they don't have credit cards, this guy is definitely on his game. And which is why I was like, and then you go look at the videos he has, like, this is not the worst guy for you young people to go listen to. Again, if you don't want to listen to an old man with gray pubes. So he does have a lot of channels about finance and investing in real estate. So I do recommend Freddie. But no credit cards? Yeah. He probably might have a financial background. He's no dummy. And they're doing very well. If you were to look at your average 30-year-old couple, they got a home. They both have slightly above average incomes, median, even certainly for their age. Just for their age, are probably higher than average. They have a higher than average household income, and they're very good with their money. They're not really pissing it away. Of course, I'm a cheap bastard, but this is a pretty good barometer. Yes, the household income in America would probably be pushing $100,000. He's not necessarily wrong.
I can't imagine when people tell me that their daycare is $2,500 and their student loan is $500. I'm like,
oh, wait a minute. What were the 5 rules I have? 4 universally, a 5th one for guys. Don't have kids you can't afford. Don't major in dumb shit. Don't commit no crime and spend less than you make. The 5th one for the guys is don't get married, but that's a different discussion. I know this here. If you young people are like, you're concerned, and rightly you should be. Oh my God, how do we afford a middle class lifestyle? The answer is you don't. You get by on less and you enjoy your life. Oh my God, I can't afford daycare. Yes, you can. One of you just has to stay home and take care of the kids, and you don't get new cars. You don't major in student loans. Yeah, you're right. If you didn't have student loans, could you maybe afford daycare? I don't know, just me, okay? But I don't know if you notice how the human race has evolved over the thousands of millennia that somebody stays home and takes care of the kid. I personally don't care if it's the husband or wife, but somebody's got to stay home and take care of the kid. And then you got by. I know a family today, they get by in about like, well, probably more like 40,000. Family of 9. Family of 9. And you know what? They just make do. They don't live a glorious life, but they make do. Husband does a lot of the auto repairs, maintenance, and everything like that. Yeah, it's tight, but they survive. What you really, just for you younger kids going out there, going down into, all right, first, if you want to enjoy a comfortable lifestyle, well, first, don't have your value system established in middle school that you got to have fancy cars and all this new horse shit. Okay, that'd be the first thing. You don't need $60 pair of pants. $750. Yep. For a pair of pants. Yep. There's not like a TV in them or something. Nope. You kids don't know that movie. First, don't need the money in the first place, all right? Second, for the love of God, please stop majoring in dumb shit. Stop listening to your teachers. Stop listening to the media. Stop listening to your guidance counselors and professors and all that. And go and get a degree or a certification or a trade in a field that pays, right? Related, don't be going to colleges that charge $400 a credit and you're $80,000 in debt. You go to an accredited yet cheap school. Get your 2 years out of the way at the community college. You can go Western Governors University. You could go 4 years if it's a non-STEM degree where you don't need physical labs like computer programming or accounting. And then you'll have the income that is one big part of the financial puzzle. Needing less than the average American middle, keeping up with the Joneses dipshit with their European vacations put on a credit card and all that shit. Okay, you'll do better than that. And then don't have kids you can't afford. There you go. Cappy solved poverty. Now, policy speaking, stop printing off fucking money. I'd recommend maybe you stop paying a third of the country to be on welfare, not just TANF, which is one welfare program. But if you had, I don't know, would you like a 20% increase in pay with less taxes you had to pay? Would that help you out? What was it? Not to get political, but Kamala Harris, I want to give $25,000 to first-time home buyers. I guess prices of homes just went up by $25,000. I'm not saying y'all got to get degrees in economics, but maybe you ought to study economics a little bit so you vote in policies, not necessarily politicians, but policies that make it so housing can be constructed. I don't know. Maybe if we found a bunch of HOA Karens and city council members who like, oh, you can't build that here, you can't build that there. It has to be like, if they were just to disappear like HR people and lawyers and bankers, they just disappeared. Your HR Karens that don't allow you to build a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house that would be perfect for young people, affordable housing. Maybe you should get rid of those policies, get rid of those politicians. You all still believe in the free shit. Oh, you still believe in the free money, the free shit fairy. The free shit fairy. It comes from the government, and here's your free money. And then you're like, why is everything so expensive? My favorite. Economics 101, man. You can't print off more money. What did they do? Especially under Trump. I mean, they all did it, but especially under Trump during the pandemic. Printed off what? You tripled the money supply? And now you're all wondering why McDonald's costs $17. And then you throw in the interest rates that happen to that. Oh, I can't believe why it's housing. So I don't know. Print off more money. That'll solve the problem. But those things are really not within your control. The politicians are going to be elected by the people, and people are idiots. So you're going to have idiot politicians, but major in the right thing. Spend less than you make. Don't have kids you can't afford. Spend less than you make. Be a minimalist. And your standard of living will be higher even if it is officially below the median household income in the United States. All right. Does he have anything else?
That would make our monthly bills $10,000. What? So the reason we keep bringing this up is that we don't want to see a repeat in the next 5 years of it going to 150 or 200,000 for the middle class. Like, we're watching the middle class just be pushed right out. You don't have.
Well, then, I mean, the short answer is to stop printing money. That would be the main thing. Stop printing money. I know, but kids, isn't there a way we can continue to get the free shit and not work? No. Well, yeah. It'll just go up in price. I mean, do you like $8 gallon for gas? What? and to put a little bow on this, let's just take an economic lesson away. It would really help, especially you young kids going forward, to remove money from the equation of economics. If you want to know how to become wealthy, if you want to have a higher standard of living, you have to realize, remove money from it. Don't worry about money for now. All it boils down to is how much shit do we produce in the country? That's it. Because you and I don't eat money. We don't put money into our tank of the car and then it goes. It doesn't burn on money. It is the goods and services that we as a people produce, meaning you have to work. I mean, just imagine, okay, if we didn't pay everyone stimmy checks and welfare and, oh, I got a disorder and, oh, I feel sad. Where's the money? Oh, I'm not working because I can't, but I can play video games really good. Instead of that, if you made them all go become tradesmen in a fictional world, like technically a fascist economy, we're like, you are going to become tradesmen. Let's just hear me out on this. Instead of the basement dwellers and the mopers and the whiners and complainers, oh, I got an ADHD, I can't work. We say, nope, you're going to go become a trades. And we started this 10 years ago. Would we not have more supply of housing? Yes, we would. Would the price of housing be lower than what it is now? Yes, it would be. And forget, we didn't talk about money. It's just like, what did you do with your time? Now, in order to motivate people to go and build housing, you got to pay them. Again, you can't eat money. But over time, every civilization has come up with a form of money. It's a naturally forming economic phenomenon, and it's a way we convert and transact our time. And because of traits inherent to them, gold and silver tended to be universal mediums of exchange. You become universal money. I will pay you 6 silver pieces and 5 copper pieces per year to tend the field. And then you say, okay, here's my time. Now you give me the money. And all that is a record of exchange. I worked this amount of time. And you take that money and then you go and you do what? You buy others people time with it for them to do whatever it is that you need. Where it's, I need the farmer to grow the food. I need you to build me a house. I need someone to fix my car. All money is like a scorekeeping. It's just a unit of measurement. And a way we transit. It's a tool. You convert your time into money that allows you to buy other people's time to pay them to go do things that you frankly don't have time to do. And if you remove money, at the end of the day, housing doesn't come from the government. Food doesn't come from the government. The oil doesn't refine and transport itself. It comes from all people in the world. So if you'd like to have goods and services, you need to get off your ass and work. You need to be, and it's getting to the point, and he's not wrong, that especially with housing, and I can tell you all about my story and background of having to deal with contractors. Man, one of the best things you could do right now is just go become your own carpenter. Go become a plumber or a tradesman. Learn how to frame. Because if you can build your own house or a significant percentage of it and barter out your plumbing services, I'll plumb the roofer's house if he roofs my house. I'll plumb the electrician's house if he wires my house. Kind of an Amish sort of way, which is an incredibly efficient way to build house. You think the Amish worry about housing? It's because they don't have journalism majors or they didn't go to college. They just build shit. That'd be one of the best things you could do to increase your standards of living and, frankly, not be homeless, not be poor. But notice there's no money. And it's not like, yeah, fine, you go get paid to be a plumber, but you do your own house. You build your own house. You directly translate your labor into a house. And the other thing about that, you don't pay taxes on that. Right now, because frankly, y'all told to vote Democrat because, oh my God, free money. Ah, why are things so expensive? And then you vote for all this shit. Then you're surprised you tax at about a 38% rate. Look it up. Do you want to work and have almost 4 in every 10 of your dollars go to the government and somebody? I mean, yeah, you pay for roads and defense and all that, but I believe it's 2/3 of it goes to somebody else. Or would you just rather take your time and instead of working and losing 40%, 4 out of every $10, you just go build the shit yourself? Oh, but then yeah, you would. You would. You would have to learn how to do things. Yes, you would have to go on YouTube and learn how to do things. That's how I became a reasonably okay mechanic. And I become a damn good carpenter past 3-4 years. Not by choice. So there, I know, I'm sorry. It's not what your dipshit teacher who has been in school since she or he was 5 years old and never ever set foot in the real world told you. You follow your heart, the money will follow. Yeah. Why you can become a mechanic? Guess what? Guess what? Mechanics don't spend their money on cars because they fix it themselves. Become a carpenter and you knock out these, or just get a skill on the side, and you dramatically knock these costs down because you can do it yourself. And frankly, going forward, this ain't your fault. Generations before you so fucked up the finances of this country, you're almost going to have to. You almost will. Anyway, so all that financial, economic analysis advice aside, link below, you're going to find a link to Freddie's channel. Please go subscribe and take a look at that. 2, I have a link to Bachelor Pad Economics. Where'd it go? Right there. The Financial Advice Bible for men and women bold enough to read it. Goes through all the major and minor financial decisions you have to make from the age of 14 to death. There's also Achieving Financial Excellence that kind of delves into much greater detail about the concept I talked about before, where do you really have higher standards of living if you have a nicer car than the next guy? Or does the guy who gets 10 hours of sleep, well, that'd be an insane amount of sleep. The guy who gets 8.5 hours of sleep a night and has lower cholesterol, but he lives off of $35,000 a year, who has the higher standard of living? Who really has financial excellence? So that's what we do there. All right. Let's go to the super chats, the super chats, the super chats. Let's go do the super chats and have ourselves a treat. Author Digby Sellers, $2. Youth funds, fun times. You don't know what you don't know. Youth funds, fun times. You mean like they go out and they have, well, that's because they're young. I don't begrudge young people going out having fun because they've never experienced it. You got to go out. Yeah, first couple times going to a nightclub was fun, and then it got boring. And that's why old people don't go to nightclubs no more, because it's ultimately loud and a waste of time. But young people, yeah, my little nieces, like, they want to go, there's like a petting zoo. Old McDonald's farm. It's on the way out to Mount Rushmore. If you guys ever want to go take a look at it. I don't need to pet a goat. I've seen goats. Spent a lot of time in Wisconsin. A lot of farmyard. And oh, there you go. Oh, it's a goat. It's a cow. It's like, these kids are from, some of them are from Wisconsin. I'm like, you've seen cows a million times. What do you got to pet this cow for? But, they're young. They want to do that. That's fine. There'll be plenty of time to be grumpy old man when you're older and everything you did. Nothing is new. Justify Masagany, $2. Walking to work, saving at least $300 a month. Yeah, that's right, man. You get to walk to work. Exactly. It really would pay for people to go and study what a budget for a family in the 1950s was. It really would. And you'd realize how much harder they had. Now, they seemed happier, and maybe they were happier because, I don't know, nobody was getting divorced and there was nuclear fucking families. But that's just a theory I got. I don't know. Maybe people in love and family is more important than your fucking Lexus. But yeah, it's just me. It's just me. What do I know? But yeah, and Justified, I know you're a young man and you're just starting out. I guarantee you, being able to walk to work as opposed to having a commute, dude, That's like a 30% chunk advantage you got over other people. Some guy who's got to commute an hour one way each day who makes 100,000, that equates it in my mind. You're not getting stressed out. You get to go for a walk. Probably helps you healthily anyway. Pigeon Post, 10 Canadian. In my own opinion, for a good salary, become a blank here contractor for businesses with large moats. Moats? Bring back the money to your family community saved in a community bank. Scalp money from the top echelons. With large moats. Moats. I mean, like they're just, and you go back to your, I mean, yeah, you can go back to the community bank. The problem is with investing, like at a 401k, your money's leaving the community. And then also buying stuff on Amazon, that kind of leaves the community. Your community doesn't provide everything, like it doesn't provide oil and electronics. So if you look at most of your money's going to leave that community anyway. Naughty DJ Aftershock $5. Dude, bro, 100K is not enough to live in Maple Grove while going to the game at the Target Center, US Bank Stadium, horking down beers and corn dogs, bro. No, it's not. It's not. 100,000, like for a family, and you want to live the upper middle income, those people I hated the most in banking. They were so posing. They so wanted to be rich and they didn't have the money. That's where most of your debt is. And then you'd have actual rich people, genuine entrepreneurs, genuine surgeons. They'd come in and they're like, yeah, I got to get this loan temporarily. You're like, yeah, with your 850 credit score, sir, and your $450,000 a year in minimal expenses and no mortgage, you are approved for the loan, sir. Those guys are, but man, the ones coming in, the wheeler and dealers and wannabe entrepreneurs, yeah, those are the ones with the least Beamer coming in. And oh, and they'll do it. Again, middle school determines middle income. That middle school mentality, they'll carry that like, I'm going to be popular, bro. Author Dibby Sellers, $2 again. Stats on non-married people with kids got to be small. Like single parents or boyfriend, girlfriend living together that just happens to have kids. There is an increasing amount of data being recorded on that. I think when I wrote the book of numbers, it was the book of numbers. I did find a fair amount of data on cohabitation, not married, but cohabitating. There's an increasing amount of data on that because, well, it's an increasing phenomena. Pigeon Post, 5 Canadian, came back from Las Vegas in early August. The amount of 20-something-year-olds at Omnia every weekend was crazy. $250 just entered. Yep. And you know what's there, bro? Booze. That's the booze and loud music. The exact same thing at every other nightclub. What hotel is Omnia at? Omnia nightclub. Omnia. Caesar's Palace. Yeah, you couldn't. Oh, look at that. Oh, no. No, you couldn't pay me enough. You couldn't pay me enough to go there. The Plains Warrior, $2 for your weekly lotto ticket. Yeah, the lotto ticket. Hey, do you want to know why I bought Plains? I had to resupport my deck. Dug hole, but post digger, which by the way is an amazing workout. Poured the concrete, mixed concrete, pour it. Then I had to counter lever. So today I went to the Homey Depot, and which they don't have a Home Depot out here. It's Menards and Lowe's. I had to go and counterleaf, so I had to go get some more lumber and cut it at 45 degrees. So that's where the $2 partially went for $40 worth of lumber. Brian Dupree, $5, living good on 2K. Yo, yeah, Brian's an expert at this. Now look at him. Is he posing by a car or some fucking house? No, he's out hiking, looks like on a beach or somewhere in the desert. Living good on $2,000 a month and saving $2,000 a month. Still hit the gym daily, date when I need it, and just spent 2 weeks in Guatemala hiking volcanoes and swimming lakes. Nice. Dr. Paradox, $2. Ken Rose gave a thumbs up from afar. Where are you? Are you with them? Are you on the phone with them, Doc? Like, do you know Ken? I don't even know super chat. Just kind of curious. All right, there you guys go. Link below. Freddie's channel. Take a look at you young people if you don't like cantankerous old men like me. The Bachelor Pad Economics book. Get that book. You don't have to read through it. You just consult chapter by chapter, depending on where you are in your life. And then if you want more of the deep philosophical, like, but I need to go to Omnia. I need car. Girl not touch peen. I get no date. I not be cool when pull up to work in not Porsche Cheyenne convertible or not convertible SUV. If you can't get over that fucking thinking, I strongly recommend Achieving Financial Excellence so you know what the role money is that you play in your life. Because it sure the fuck isn't being popular. You graduated from high school long ago. You should be done with that shit now. But it just, you know what? Go get my book Behind the Housing Crash to see all the fucking popularity bullshit that still continued on with people well into their 30s and 40s back then. Oh my God. I need granite countertops in my convertible Corvette. All right, I'll see you guys later. Toodles.